Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today's workshop about RAMP. My name is Jenna, and I'll be moderating today's session. Please feel free to introduce yourselves and your name, your role, and the region you're joining us from in the Zoom chat or in Whova. We also wanted to let you know that we will be recording today's session on Zoom. Please feel free to ask any questions that you have in the Zoom chat or in Whova, and we will try to answer as many of them during the presentation, and there will also be time for a Q&A afterwards. I will now pass it on to Dr. Krausz and Dr. Kazemi from the Addictions and Concurrent Disorders Research Group.
Alireza, you go ahead.
So please start. Yes, please.
I think hopefully I don't need to introduce myself, but I'm Michael Krausz, and I'm the UBC Leadership Chair for Addiction Research and co-designer of this risk assessment and management platform together with Alireza.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. My name is Alireza, and I am a data scientist at the Addiction and Concurrent Disorder Group, Department of Psychiatry, under the supervision of Professor Michael Krausz. It's a pleasure to present here. Thank you. And please, Michael, please, would you kindly start?
Would you bring up share our presentation in the beginning, or shall I do it free-handedly?
Yes, if you can just give a brief introduction of what it is RAMP and
okay. To summarize the rationale, the main reason we are developing virtual care solutions, and in this case, a risk assessment and management platform addressing high-risk opiate use, is that we have very limited capacity in that field. It's very difficult to engage our patients and to especially develop something which is close to preventative activities or early intervention strategies. So we decided we want to add a platform to the a virtual platform, a virtual system of care to what we have already in the existing program components. And we decided to choose an approach which is not based on diagnosis, but based on the concept of risk and addressing especially the risk of substance injection opioid use, given the current situation we are discussing. And RAMP is kind of like a system which is modular and this addressing and helping people to deal with all kinds of problems which are going beyond substance use, which are more or less standing for the risk factors like mental illness, like special skills, but also how to navigate the treatment system and so on. And we will, in the presentation, which now will be done by Alireza, we will present the structure of the program and how it will be possible to use in the next little while. So I think it would be great to, if Alireza, if you give the introduction.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor Krausz. So just let me share the screen and the presentation. I wonder if you see the introduction page.
Yes.
Perfect. So actually, I'll start with that. I have no financial or any other competing interest in the material that I will present. Today, I will briefly introduce RAMP, and any one of you who would be interested to help in evaluating RAMP and testing the platform We would highly appreciate it and encourage you to create your own account, because it's possible to create your own accounts now, and send your feedbacks via the feedback section of this platform. You can ask me questions during or after the presentation. We encourage you to unmute yourself or ask questions at any time, and also share your videos or in any way that you are comfortable. And then you can ask your question via the chat function, or you can ask questions by unmuting yourself at the end of the presentation. So I will start my presentation by the approach. As Professor Krausz just mentioned, this platform we have developed, we have several ways that we want to promote the platform. One of them is actually the conferences, the others are social media, and so by different means, we hope that users visit the platform, and by the features that we have available even before the registration, we hope that they register in some point of time and when they feel comfortable, and then HRA will be proposed to them. HRA stands for High Risk Assessment. It's a comprehensive assessment that assesses your risk of substance use. And there is a decision support system behind the scene, which is actually a system that, based on the answers that you provide for the HRA, it will offer you education and information, namely modules, if you need other assessments, and will offer you the two most relevant goals based on the answers that you're providing. So, and then also you can set some help tasks like behavior management techniques, activities, behavioral therapies, symptom checks. And when you start doing those interventions, then the system will track your progress via live chart. This is our monitoring system, and will provide regular reminders, and HRA will be proposed regularly every 2 weeks. So this system is a web application responsive to mobile devices. The content management system is WordPress and is available via ramp2.walkalong.ca. So this is the login page. If you're a first-time user, you can register using this button. And if you're a returning user, by entering your username and password, you will enter to the system by clicking on this sign in. There is also a 1-minute introduction about RAM for the first-time users. So when you enter into the system, this is the page that you will see. On the right side of the page, there is a Help in Crisis button that will allow you to find resources in emergencies and crisis. This system is not for emergencies and for crisis. So we are just providing some links and further numbers to call. This My Journey page in the middle summarizes your interaction with RAMP, your last assessment here, your the modules that are recommended and the modules that you have completed, and also the goals and other other features that you have been interacting with them. So I start with the assessment. Currently, we have included 3 assessments. High-risk assessment, or HRA, is the one that is developed by the ACD team and acts as the heart of the system. As I described earlier, all recommendations are based on the result of this comprehensive assessment. The other 2 assessments are GAT-7 and PHQ-9, and which are their standard screening tests for anxiety and depression. So if I click on this high-risk assessment, so I will see my latest HRA result. And for example, here I twice did the assessment. First time the total score was 46 and the next time was 44. Both are very high. Usually you do the assessment every 2 weeks, but here for the demonstration purposes, I did it just in row for 2 days in a week. And then you can also start a new assessment. later on, or modify your results, or get your latest results, a description of your latest results by clicking on About My Risk, or emulate your modifiable risk, which I will explain later. So I start with the start assessment. So when I start this new assessment, I will get a few questions to answer. Mostly they are yes and no. So the risk factors that Professor Krausz mentioned are just implemented into this questionnaire, into this survey. And you just say yes or no, or some of the questions are multiple choices and they're a combination of different risk factors. Some of the questions are designed in a way that, for example, like this question number 6, that is asking about experiencing symptom of mental health, is designed in a way that if you answer yes, there will be tally questions. For example, it will ask you to specify your mental illnesses, which means like depression, anxiety, or other. If I select other, then I have to enter more information and specify what was my mental illness. So when I have completed all the questions and upon answering all the questions, the system will calculate my risk score and will demonstrate it on a heat map here on this part.
May I add
Yes.
something, Alireza?
Yes, please go ahead, Michael.
Why are we doing that? So this what we did is developed based on what we know about risk factors, but the coroner reports, analyzing other studies. So we identified the factors, also using methods of machine learning to identify the most important factors. And what we found important in general, that users can especially find out, also with something we will explain later, how big the potential risk is to suffer an overdose, but also to die of an overdose, and how they could respond that. So we based on this assessment, we recommend a number of interventions, but we also recommend something like to take a risk modulator to find out what you could do as a user to protect yourself. So this is kind of the framework to understand, and we want to also do other things based on the platform environment we built to update that, to make it as accurate as possible. I just wanted to add that. Alireza, over to you again.
Thank you very much, Michael. Yes, so the system, in addition to showing my latest result on a heat map, it will explain what does the score mean, give an explanation, and also the rule-based decision support system that we currently have on the system will suggest me some relevant modules to gain knowledge about my risks. This is based on the answers that I give to different questions. So the different questions may trigger different kind of modules. And also the two most relevant goals that I will highly benefit from them. It will also recommend me to emulate or modify my modifiable risk. And here, if I click on this link, it will take me to the same interface, but only those risk factors, only those questions that contain risk factors that are deemed to be modifiable will be shown to me. For example, my age, or if I have like Aboriginal background, those kind of things will not be shown to me because they are not modifiable. But those that are modifiable, for example, consuming fentanyl or like those kind of things will be shown to me, so I can play with them and see what is the effect. I will give an example. Here we have two heat maps. One is for before and the one is after modification. So they are the same because I haven't changed any question. For example, this question number 28, and that I have said that I'm using in the past 6 months, I have been using fentanyl. I changed the answer from yes to no, and then I see that my risk score will be reduced by 3 points. And if I enroll in OAT, my risk score will be reduced by 3 more points. So it shows that these two have a very great role in the overall risk. So they have, each of them have 3.3 scores in the overall risk. And by playing with these risk factors and protective factors, and I can see what is the share of each question or each risk factor in my overall risk. And this is also an educational tool. The next session that I'm explaining is the modules. If you have any question from in the section, please ask me. Or Gina, you can ask me if there is any question.
Dr. Kazemi, we have a question from Jing, which is, can healthcare professionals register on the RAMP platform?
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, of course. On the register button that I showed, you can now register, and it will send to your email, and then you can activate your account and use RAMP. Yes, now it is available. Thank you very much, Ting, for the question. So I will start with the modules. So we have some general modules such as COVID-19, positive psychology, and problem solving. And we have some more specific modules to substance use and their symptoms or complications and treatments, such as modules such as overdose or withdrawal, naloxone training, substitution treatment, safer injection, those kind of things. Some of the modules are, as you can see, are recommended. These are based on the DSS, though, the decision support system, the recommendation from the HRA. All modules have an introduction at the beginning, an interaction that is text or multimedia, like this. Each module contains a few lessons that those that you have done are crossed out. And they also have, all of them have quiz and frequently asked question. You can do the lesson on the order that is suggested here sequentially, or you can do whatever module, whatever lesson you want in this module randomly. Lessons are short and a combination of text and multimedia, and even sometimes our team members have developed animations and cartoons to explain things visually. All trainings, as I mentioned, are competency-based, and you can test your knowledge at the end of the module using the quiz. So if there is no more question, I will go to the next section, which is the goals. So goals are in dark blue, while tasks are in light blue. So health tasks are the objectives, the interventions that we want to do, and they are created smart. They are like smart goals. So we have two layers. One is the goal, one is the objective. You can set the goals by clicking on this add new button, add new goals. So those focus area will be shown to you. There are 4 focus areas at this moment, and those that they are recommended by the system to be set are just demonstrated with a little star here. These are based on the decision support system. And for example, if I select overdose risk behaviors, this is the third one. I can see the goals that are here. There are 3 goals. The first one is grayed out, which is the recommendation of system, because I have already selected that. Be safer with my drug consumption. This is, you can see in the background here. So I will select the next one, be safer with the drug I mix. So when I select that one, it will ask me to add the health tasks. These are the health tasks. These are the objectives. These are the SMART goals. These are those things that are like we are setting their frequency and everything. For example, I will select going to safe consumption sites. And then it will ask me that how many times, is it daily, is it weekly, and how many times are you going there? And if I say, for example, 3 times weekly, then I can see that this goal with the health task is already set for me. If I want to add any new task, I'll use this add new task, and then so you can see that this one is grayed out because I already selected and select another one. So in this way, I can add whatever goal or health task I want. And using this button, I can register or undo completion of health task.
Let me add something, Alireza.
Yes,
So the whole purpose of the virtual care model and platform is to modify behavior, right? To build skills and to modify behavior, and because it's important to kind of connect the dots in the platform. We thought that goal setting and recommendations of next steps is a very good way to self-control your behavior and identify your own goals. Probably if you look into or you're familiar with motivational enhancement or other things, that also is kind of, first you try to convince people, you motivate them to self-assess their behavior, and then the next step would be, okay, based on that, you would identify goals for yourself, what you want to do in the next week or in the next little while, and how can you control that. So that is kind of the goal setting, and what Alireza is describing is more or less the connecting dot between the different interventions and the different modules.
Thank you very much. So yes, please, Gina.
We just have a question in the chat from Kara. So is there an app to access this via mobile or give reminders to check in with the goals?
Yes, so actually so this is a web application, as I mentioned. There is no app to actually add to your mobile, but with your standard browser on a mobile, so the app is responsive to the mobile devices. We're now currently working on the login page that is just under construction, and we are doing some little changes. So other pages that I'm describing, apart from the login page, they are responsive to the mobile device, so that they are resized for the login and for signing with a cell phone or any other device. So the answer is that we don't have an app on the Android or on the Google Play or like Apple Store. But we have this web application which is responsive to mobile devices, and the size of the screen will be resized based on the device.
So it's usable and perfectly working on mobile devices.
On mobile devices. And then for the second part of the question, which is actually about the reminders. What we have is the email reminders. So on-screen notifications, as you know, are not available currently in the web application, but we are sending regular reminders to the emails. And then when they click on it, they can be transferred to the application again, if it answers the question. So I will continue with the goals. So if I was telling that if I click on this icon, this is an icon that is for the chart. So it will show me the whole month, and it will show me that when did I last time do, what are the times that I complied with the recommendation and I actually did what I had to do. So those that I completely did my task are shown in green, and those that are partially done are in orange. I can archive a goal and its health task if I feel I don't want to work on them anymore, or I have completed that goal. Or similarly, I can unarchive them if I feel I want to continue working on that goal. So this is about the goal section. The next feature that I'm describing is symptom diary. So symptom diary is where you can check your symptoms on a daily basis. In contrast to the assessment and HRA, which is done every 2 weeks, this is where you can check and give your feedback about how you feel on a daily basis. Currently, we have included 8 domains, but we can easily add other domains if necessary. I will demonstrate the depression as an example. So if I click on depression, then I will be transferred to this page, which is showing me my latest result, the total number of symptoms and the type of symptom I have. For example, I can see that in this example, I had 5 symptoms on Thursday. Those 5 are color coded in the below figure. You can compare your symptoms along the time and find patterns. I can start a new symptom check by clicking on the start. So if I click on this start, I can do a new assessment. So if I click on this, I will see that these are the questions, and they're easy to answer and very quick to answer. And then I just say yes or no, or just select the yes, and then I submit it and I will get another result. So this was about the symptom diary. The next section that I'm describing is the life chart. So if you remember on the pattern that I was discussing, life chart is a place that we do the monitoring, the tracking. So I have an overview page here, overview tab, that combines symptoms, assessment, and goals. So I can show along the time my progress for symptoms, for the assessment, and for the goals all together if I want to compare them along the time. So all the 3 of them. I can also show one of them and compare, for example, symptoms along the time using this symptom button, and then, or using the goal tab to compare the health task of one goal. So if there is no question about the life chart, I'm going to the next section, which is art with a meaning. So art with a meaning is a place that you can express your emotion and feelings by reflecting on painting and pictures. You can reflect on others or share your own pictures and piece of art with the others. This is a moderated section and things will be published after they are reviewed. This is an example where you can comment, like, or add a piece of art to your favorite. You can reflect, you can like, you can add it to your favorite. Michael, if you have anything specific about art with a meaning.
Yes, the idea is that a lot of people have a hard time to just to describe their kind of their emotions or let's say complex feelings. So we thought that very often the paintings, especially from people with lived experience and artists with lived experience, is a very good way to make that easier for users. So you probably know that also related to music, if you are in a blues, if you're feeling blue, you listen to different music than if you're feeling really kind of happy and relaxed. Same thing is with what kind of paintings you are, or pictures, or even or photos you are responding to, and we give that is not really a full-blown art therapy. It's just an option for users to look into that, whether they like it, and also what they kind of would like to add or comment on that. It is just an additional way of communicating your emotional and otherwise state of the situation.
Thank you very much. So if there is no question, I will continue with the next section. So you can write your reflections and make, so this part is called journal. You can write your own reflections. For example, on the symptoms or like free flow journal, or so here is a place that you can add and write whatever you want and keep it for yourself. So in Art with a Meaning, we share it with the others. There is a possibility to share with community. Here is like a log room that whatever reflection that you have, you will put it here. And there are different sections that you can put your reflections in it. So this is the journal. And then the achievement. So basically, there will be pop-up screen when you reach certain milestones in different sections. And for example, here it says that welcome, you have been awarded a badge for logging in every week for the past 3 months. Congratulate me. So, and then continue to visit RAMP regularly. So this is for visiting RAMP on a regular basis. And this will pop up, and then you will also have all the achievements. So I can see my achievements along with the unachieved badges in separate sections. So I can see that I have achieved these things and I haven't achieved this. So I can have a trophy wall to see my badges and those that I haven't earned them. Here is the email reminder that I was explaining before. So we don't have on-app notifications, but we also have email notification. Currently, we don't have the text messages. It is possible also to send text messages. So we are currently only sending email reminders. It will send this based on how you interact with the system. So if they're frequent users, we encourage them to continue with the system if they are not interacting in a different way, but we will send them on a weekly basis. And it summarizes your achievements. It also says what are the recommendations based on the decision support system and asks you to continue with your journey. So the last part that I want to describe is actually the resource map or the navigation of healthcare, which I need to share a new screen. So do you see the map now?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is an interactive map, which allows me to actually zoom in and zoom out. Is using Google My Map, and the team has put a lot of time in developing this part. So different kind of mental health services, addiction services, youth services can be found through this map. So if you use your GPS, it's also integrating in the mobile app. So I can see, for example, that what are the different services that are around me. I can click on this addiction services, those will be added. I can just unselect this mental health services. I want, for example, to see this one, and I can see what are the description of it. For this is a 24-hour, 7-day a week, and then the website, the phone number, and all this kind of information. I can also view it in a Google Map, and then I can use the navigation, the Google Map navigation also to drive there or go there. So these are, and then the very important feature that we have through this Google My Map is that we can easily add to different services that we have described here, or add different sections even to this. So, and then other part of the world or other part of the province or even in Canada, different provinces can develop their own My Map, and they can easily be integrated into this. So this is a very good place for collaboration, and we can jointly collaborate with other groups to develop even better services and provide more information about this. So when we had sessions with people with lived experiences, specifically with marginalized people, they liked this map very much because it was providing information and showing them what are the available, for example, shelters or other services around them. So I'm gonna stop sharing.
And to also to say, this is not all that's work, it's still work in progress. So I think we have an early version available soon, and then we hope to be able to adapt it to also different target groups, and we will add other modules to it. So to build more or less a system which is not only addressing substance use and high-risk substance use, especially an overdose, but that is our leverage and our starting point. And then to also address the problems which are leading to high-risk substance use, like trauma, like depression, and also develop skills to develop higher skills in terms of problem solving, not just let's say symptom checking. So actually, it's a big enterprise, but we're trying to really realize a kind of a first version of a holistic approach to virtual mental health care.
Thank you so much, Dr. Krausz and Dr. Kazemi. We are going to open up the floor to questions. So if you have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourselves or to just type them in the chat. I can get us started. So Dr. Krausz, what do you think are like the main strengths of RAMP? And do you think that individuals with any level of computer literacy or any age group or different levels of acuteness of disease could benefit from RAMP?
I think that anybody who is, I think, using mobile devices or computers, who is motivated, can use it. I would say, as I see it, it's not really complicated, but we will certainly make it learn to make it even easier and more intuitive in the future. And that's what it is. The strength, it's I think from a therapeutic perspective, it's comprehensive. It's including a lot of online resources, which normally are standalone apps. We try to combine that. So like from cognitive behavioral therapy to self-assessment to goal setting, which are on its own all existing interventions, which are useful for themselves. So like goal setting is something I mentioned that in motivational interviewing. So just to become aware that there is a potential risk or a potential problem, and then say, okay, to motivate people to say, yeah, why don't you try to do something? And to explore options everybody has. So it's a virtual capacity beyond just one function. It is more, let's say, a cupboard. So you have it's a set of options which we can and will extend in the next level while following version number 1. There are is then version number 1.1 and so on and so forth, as you know it from other virtual care or virtual solutions. Alireza, could you just show how people could register? That's a question here right away.
Sure. So if I go to, so I will share first my screen and then So it's ramp2.walkalong.ca. I will go to the register. I'm inside the system. So I just get out. So this is how I register in the system. So these are the things that it will ask. I have to put a valid email, a password that I want to use, and confirm the password, my first name, my last name, and the username. The only thing that, and then I have also to agree with the privacy statement that I can see it here. So this is the privacy statement. So
sorry, Alireza.
Yes, please.
Are you able to tell if this is a patient who register or it is a healthcare professional who register from your end?
Yes, so it's both of them. So currently we don't have a separate portal for the patients and for the clients, individuals served, or and the healthcare professionals or the physicians and nurses. So for now, it's the user. Whoever wants to get access will have to register here, and then they will get an account. So our future like development is focusing on actually creating 2 different portals or 3 different portals, one for the patients or clients or individuals served, and then the other one for the healthcare professionals, physicians and nurses, and probably another one for the peers, families, and the support group.
Do I have to use a computer to sign up? Because I'm using my iPhone to sign up. It wouldn't allow me to sign up.
Yeah, I think that currently they are working on the login page because the login page is going through a revamp. So the login page, they are working on it currently. And unfortunately, I think there are a lot of problems. So you see that it is not probably fitting into the page. So if you get in, if you register with a computer first, and then you get in, you see that the other pages are completely like compliant with the size of the device. But the login page for now, they are working on it, and this is probably, and I apologize for that, but this is the reason that probably you cannot use your cell phone. I didn't know about the registration, but I know that the size of the screen just on that page is not. So I'm just checking that.
Yeah, there is an option like on the cell phone, like on your web page for people to sign up today. But when I click it, it wouldn't go anywhere. You just click it and didn't really tell you any error message neither. So for people who don't know, that could be a problem.
Yes, I as I'm mentioning, it's the problem is that they are now working on it.
Okay.
And but my question is that did you use the register button on that or not? So if you
the register button where? Like so, on your main page, there is this section. One is like the topic is manage your addictions risk, right? So one is read more.
No, it probably you are you on ramp2.walkalong.ca? I think you have opened a wrong link.
Oh,
I put the correct link in the chat.
This one is ramp.walkalong.ca.
This is the web, the actual website, but this is the web application is ramp2.walkalong.ca. We are currently putting them together, but for now actually the application is accessible on ramp2walkalong.ca, as you can see here.
I know that's a problem. I put ramp2.walkalong.ca and then it led me to this page that is not working.
Oh, sorry for that.
So and then when you asked me, I check it, it went to this rampwalkalong.ca. So I did like follow your instruction, but it like it kind of led me to the construction site, and I was not able to sign up.
Sorry for that. Can we send Jing the right address?
Yes, Jing, the correct link is, I just put it in the chat, so.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, now I'm going to try to use the computer to sign up. Yeah.
Perfect.
Sorry for that, but when I
no worry.
registered,
It's good
I
to
didn't
know.
have that problem. I will further figure out. So you put ramp2.walkalong.ca, but it redirected you to ramp.walkalong.ca.
Well, that's the weird part, because I used Jenna's link, and it went to, like, on my computer, my work laptop, it went to the site you are showing us. But when I Google and use my iPhone, and I put this ramp2walkalong.ca, it led me to the construction site, which is not working for the
So
site.
now I understand what's the problem.
Yeah.
So if you put on the address bar of the mobile up on the cell phone, ramp2.walkalong.ca, not Google it. You just open your browser on the address bar, put it there, then we will fix that problem. Because in this way, it shows that the Google SEO is just prioritizing walkalong.ca, this ramp.walkalong.ca to ramp2walkalong.ca. So this is a technical thing that we will do so that the app goes higher than the website, so that when they click on it, it first shows the ramp2.walkalong.ca. Thank you for letting us know that. Now I understand what's the problem.
Yeah. It's all good.
So you can put it directly on the address bar, and then it will take you to there, even in the cell phone.
Thank you. And then Dr. Kazemi, just building on that, have you received feedback from the target population and from experts on RAMP, and what were their initial thoughts?
So basically, we had more than 20 sessions with experts and some with people with lived experience. So those that they were people with lived experience were from a certain society or organization that they are marginalized population. So we are now thinking to also expand it to those that they are not very much like marginalized population, because we believe that this web application also is beneficial very much for those that they are like more like a mainstream, and then also expand it to them. So basically, yes. And then with expert, we had several sessions, and with people with lived experience, I believe we had 4 or 5 sessions. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Kazemi. And Dr. Krausz, I think you mentioned earlier that the approach of RAMP can be used for other domains. Maybe do you want to speak to how you see RAMP expanding, or what other domains you'd like to see RAMP grow into?
Yes, our basic understanding is that also, let's say, high-risk substance use or others, people are not coming with one problem. People are very often, or most of the time, coming with several things they want to address, or problems they want to understand, or where they need help. So we want to build a system which is following a range of tools for a range of needs. So we want to help people to compose their own their own system of supports, and to also access resources outside of the virtual domain, so that actually ideally and in the future, anybody with a problem like related to a mental health challenge could use a RAMP following the same principles, to understand the risk through self-assessment, to monitor the progress and the understanding through diary, through assessments, through monitoring, through live chart and whatever, to identify the goals based on that on an ongoing basis, also to adapt the goals to your journey, and then to choose the most appropriate interventions there. And this is also part of our philosophy, that it's critical for people to understand that they're not always feeling the same, that they are not always behaving the same, that this is a process, and to be a partner in this process. Ideally, if the system is really good and engaging, and this is the main challenge, then people will stay with that as an ongoing tool, and we will also grow with our platform and include more and more also specific problems and additional intervention. So it's really built from the structure to add new technologies, to add additional content, to make it as comprehensive as possible so that patients can use our platform, long-term, more or less.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Krausz. I think, Jing, you have your hand raised. Would you like to ask your question?
Yeah, so this is for Michael. Michael, I just want to kind of confirm with you, is this a platform you were referring to, like from the past? And also, I got into this platform. I'm just wondering, like right now, it doesn't look like we have that, say, connecting the patient with healthcare professional on the platform, or providing resources, or kind of building a community, or like, it looks like to me right now, this is kind of like a self-study module or assessment for now. Is that correct?
Right now, so this is an online ramp, is an online resource as it's said. The user or the patient is making good use of that, and we will, as Alireza mentioned before, we will add components which are supporting the professional in this work, supporting the communication between patients and professionals, and expanding that, and including also reaching out to peers. But the first part is the content and the dynamic I tried to describe, where the patients are using it directly. That's kind of right now it's the first step into the arena.
And this question may be for Alireza, like right now, say, for example, if I recommend this platform to my patient, and then what's the design in the system, like in regard of this accountability part? Like, will the system kind of send like reminder, like daily or how many times weekly to my patient? Like this is great. And I mean, it's still kind of in progress, but like how, like, is that my responsibility to remind my patient to use the app, or how does the system set up right now to remind?
As I mentioned earlier, it will send reminders, email reminders that will summarize the interaction. So if I can show here again.
Sorry, I missed that part.
No worries at all. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for asking the questions. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, it just is a great thing. If the patient, they don't use it, it's not very helpful.
So I wonder if you can see here. So it summarizes all the interactions that they had, also what is the system is recommending to them to do next, and also to continue their journey. For example, they haven't completed their module, we want them to complete this module, and those kind of things. So it will summarize all the interaction, and if they click on this, any of this, it will just redirect them to the web application. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Krausz and Dr. Kazemi, and thank you so much, Jing, for your question. It looks like we're coming up to 12:30, so maybe I'll pass it off to you to provide some closing remarks, and thank you so much, everyone, for attending our workshop today.
I already spoke too much, so Alireza, do some closing remarks.
Thank you very much. And as Professor Krausz mentioned, I really appreciate your questions and all the supports. And I really thank you for the engagement, and I'll also encourage everyone to create accounts and help us to improve RAMP. This is work in progress, as Professor Krausz mentioned also. And by your feedback, we can serve better the population in need and create a better app. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks
everyone.
a lot.
Sorry, just quick
Yeah.
question.
Yes,
Michael, is this funded by House